Today we're going to do it in a posture. So we're going to take your blanket or your towel and we're going to roll it up a little bit of the long way so it doesn't get quite as wide. So you get a roll like that thickish. You could even use a pillow for this. And then we're going to take this roll right where I have the mic, right up above the hips and between the rib cage. And then you're going to squat down low. This is kind of like skier's pose. Put your elbows on your knees. You're helping to deepen the crease of your hips. This is really nice for low back pain. It helps create space in your low back. And it's going to be a sneaky way that we get into our hamstrings this morning. I'm taking this traditional Chinese medicine course, and we've been talking a lot about the yin yang, the black and white symbol with like the dot of the opposite color. And one of the things I didn't know that I thought was really cool is that like S down the middle of it, that represents that in life, balance is rarely 50-50. It's a dynamic balance that shifts. Sometimes there's more, sometimes there's less. We're going to be playing with dynamic balance today. You begin to let your legs straighten a little bit more, but keep compressing the blanket, and we'll start to take the hands down to the floor, or you can take the hands down to a block. So before we do that, let's bend the knees again so the thighs come about parallel to the floor, and then push into your fingertips or a block and round the upper ribs, the back of your rib cage, push through your hands so the back of your rib cage rounds up towards the sky, and then try to push your butt backwards with the blanket roll. So we're lengthening the lumbar and spreading through the thoracic vertebrae. Now from here, begin to push through your feet and make your legs a little bit more straight. Let your head hang. This could be a yin or a restorative pose, a pose that you hold for several minutes. We won't be there super long, but this is where we're going to bring our awareness to the breath. So without changing or manipulating your breath, just begin to notice your breath, breathing you. Notice the sensations of the breath as it fills up through the back of your body, maybe all the way down to your head. Let's see if you can send your breath down your legs, helping to make your legs feel longer. I've been referencing Thich Nhat Hanh in my classes this week. He passed away last week. Thich Nhat Hanh is a famous Buddhist monk. And one of the teachings he gave on breath was to put no effort in breathing. He said, try not to breathe and then watch as you inhale. And he said, what a wonder that is. And so can you, as you notice your own breath here, maybe cultivating some of that mentality, like what a wonder our breath is, these sensations, this life we get to live. Oh. Okay, take the blanket roll out from your hips, put it on the ground, and then walk your balls of the feet up onto the blanket roll. So your heels are going to be on the floor, and your blanket roll is going to shove under as much of the balls of the feet as you can. Keep a little bend in your knees and keep your forward fold. Begin to subtly shift forward and back with your hips. You'll notice that as the hips shift backwards, you get out of the hamstring stretch. So shift your pelvis a little bit more over the heels. So you're leaning into that, your hamstring stretch, and push down through the heels. And you notice if your body starts to naturally breathe deeper. And then step off of your blanket roll, forward fold. Explore this forward fold. Walk your hands a little bit to the right and the left. And notice how this feels. This forward fold feels very deep for me for being the first pose we did because we broke it down in those little segments. And then from here, begin to bend your knees, spine straight, draw the shoulders down the back, and then straighten your legs. Inhale, bend your knees, gaze forward, shoulders slide down the back. And then exhale, push through your feet, straighten your legs. Last one, bend your knees, look forward. However gracefully you make it or don't make it, we're going to transition to our bum. And we're going to come into our first balance pose, which is going to be Navasana. So lifting up your heels, come to sit on your sitting bones. Notice if this pose is one that's going to help you stand up with more lift and lightness, or if it's a pose that's going to build your posture to be more rounded and slumped over. Try to choose a posture that's going to add to that movement. Okay, now tip over to your right glute. Knees will go to the right, hands will go to the left, kind of for balance. Keep trying to stay lifted through your sternum, the front bone of the chest, and then go over to the other side. Letting this balance be something that's playful instead of frustrating. And going over to the right and the left. On the right and on the left. Really nice. Place your feet on the floor. Take your hands to your knees. Let your knees widen. Pull your chest forward, slide the shoulders down your back, tip your right ear towards your right shoulder, and then your left ear towards your left shoulder. And think about pushing your right elbow away from your right shoulder. Come back through center, let your knees knock together, straighten your arms around your spine. Close your eyes and feel the stretch through the back body. Maybe you begin to push one knee forward and pulling the other leg back. So you get a little rocking through the spine and a little twist. Arms are straight. Just changing the sensations and the direction of the stretch. Come forward again, open through your chest. This time we're going to use no hands round down to the back. I like to imagine I'm holding like a rope so I have a little bit more control, and there'll be a spot where there's like no control. Ooh. Really nice, and coming all the way down to the ground. Push through your feet, lift your hips up, bridge pose. Watch your breath. What a wonder it is to breathe. Step your right foot, wiggle it towards the midline. Push into the right foot, lift the left leg up, knee bent. With the left leg up, knee bent, stretch the right arm up towards the sky. Hand can be soft if you want. And then we're gonna switch, come down. Left foot to the middle, right leg up, knee bend, left arm up, hand soft. And kind of finding this march here, replacing the feet, lifting the hands. Finding a meditative movement here. Coordination between the opposite sides of the limbs helps coordinate our brain hemispheres so we can hop between them easier. Okay, really nice. Both feet down. Lift the hips up one more time. And then lower the hips down. Pull your knees into your belly. Rock side to side. Check in with your spine. Sometimes my spine says, don't roll on me. If that's what your spine's saying today, whenever we roll, you'll just roll over to your side and come up to table. If your spine's feeling like it can roll forward and back, start to rock forward and back. through the length of your spine. And then we'll come all the way up to Navasana Balance. Soften any tension you may be picked up through doing things you're not used to or something that's happening in your environment. And then we're going to go back down again with your feet lifted. Slowly roll down. Oh, really nice. Soles of the feet on the floor. Find your block or your pillow. If you're at your house and you don't have a block, you can use like a thick throw pillow. And we're going to take the prop in between our knee and our elbow, and we're going to squeeze them together. My elbow's bent and my knee is bent. As you squeeze your elbow and knee together, let's all do the right side. Sorry if you have to change. Right elbow, right knee, squeezing the block together. Now start to activate your core. So the right ribs, the engage, belly engages. So you're getting strong. Now extend your right leg and right arm towards the sky. So the limbs are straightening. They don't need to straighten all the way, and then bend them. But just feeling that you can have some movement in the limbs. You might need to adjust your block. Okay, squeeze, come back, elbows in, knee at 90 degrees. Now stretch your left leg up towards the sky. Right, lower the left leg towards the floor. The knee can be bent, heel touch. Lift the knee up. So the opposite knee's moving. Lower it down, heel touch. Keep the core strong. Lift the knee up. Heel touch. Knee up. Heel touch. Okay, switch sides. Left elbow, left knee, squeeze the prop together. The squeezing of something is going to help activate more. Sometimes we have to link it. If the left rib cage is jutting up, when you squeeze the knee and the elbow together, the core won't engage in the same way. So maybe even exhale through your mouth. Pull the left ribs in. Keep that in. Keep it in as you push elbow and knee together. Now, lift up the right leg. Knee can be bent. Core strong and active with the help of squeezing the block. Lower the right heel and lift it up. Exhale to use the core. Lower the heel. Inhale. Lift it up. Really nice. Pull your knees into your belly. Rock side to side. Maybe this is the route you're going to use to get back up to table, or rock forward and back. And then we're going to meet in Navasana. Sitting on the sitting bones. Find the lift through the chest. Surf side to side. See now this time, see if you can go a little bit slower. A little bit slower. Nice. Come through center. Slowly roll down. Oh, so the feet on the floor. Okay. Lift your knees to 90 degrees, feet off the floor, arms up towards the sky, hands soft. Now activate your core. Exhale. Draw the ribs in. Keep them in as you breathe. So your core is really engaged. You might poke it. Okay, now we're going to do opposite hand and foot. So we're going to lower the left heel. Knee can be bent and the right hand to the floor. Ooh, and then lift them back up. And then switch right heel, the knee bent, and the back of the left hand. Come to the floor, a little touch. Pull back up. Switch. Opposite arm and leg. Up. Exhale to lower. Inhale up. Feeling the dynamic balance of effort. We're having to work a lot more here than in some of the other poses. Okay, pull the knees in. Okay, side to side. Maybe front to back. Option if you want here, going front to back, you could remove your hands and try to shoot your feet up towards the sky, but keep your head lifted so you're not rolling on your cervical vertebrae. Little shoop. Navasana. Okay. Whew. At night laying in the bed, I didn't think that was going to be so hard. Okay, really nice. Let's come to table. So notice that this table posture I'm in is very similar to this posture. So try to create that same posture of active core. Imagine the floor was on your back. You're pulling your ribs to the floor that's on your back. You're pulling your belly in, so you're really strong. Okay. Inhale, right leg stretches back. Keep your hips square. Don't let right heel lift higher than your hip. Exhale, right knee lowers. Be mindful of your spine. So moving slow so you can stay engaged and connected. And we'll march through the legs here, alternating. One of Thich Nhat Hanh's mantras that he suggested that I've been doing since I've heard of his passing is breathing in, I calm my body and mind. Breathing out, I smile, knowing I'm present. I normally end with just breathing out, I smile. Okay, now we're going to add opposite arm. Okay, so yep, perfect. But now as you lift, extend one leg back, the opposite arm will stretch forward. If it feels really hard, you might be trying to do the same arm and leg. That's a different thing. That is really hard. Awesome. Okay, come back to table. Now we're going to lift up opposite hand and knee, but in place. So I'm going to suck my right hand and my left knee up off the floor. And when I suck it up into the joints, I have to push down harder onto what's on the floor. Now switch. Push more through right and left knee. Right hand, left knee, lift up through right knee, left hand. Switch. Integrated. Switch. This is like how we moved as children, or as like infants, this ability to crawl. All animals have it, but we kind of lose it as adults. Okay, now come back to table. Tuck your toes under, hover. I tried teaching this in a class last night and it was like, oh, no one could do it. I was great to break it down more. Okay, so now same thing. Lift one hand, one foot, opposite one. Try to stay towards the table. Okay, now if you're doing it okay, see if you can walk around your mat. So the opposite hand and foot move. Just walk around in your little circle. Try to stay like a table. I'm seeing some down dogs. Yeah, at least that looks good. But hover. Yeah, Melissa. Nice. That's getting better. Look nice, Mom. Looking good. Okay, make your way, walk your way to your yoga mat to downward facing dog. Isn't it more hard than you'd think? I know, right? We're just gonna move like babies again. Downward facing dog, some deep breaths here. You can either intuitively hold this pose still, or you could take some intuitive movements. And try to stay connected to your experience. And look forward to come forward. Bring your feet forward, Uttanasana. Standing forward, fold. Let's bend into the right knee. Keep the left leg straight. Let the head dangle. Maybe shake it out. Bring the right hand to the floor in front of the foot, maybe to a block. Take the left hand to the hip. Right arm straight, twist. Oh, I did that wrong. Left hand to the, come back to your forward fold. Let me start over. Bend your right knee. Put the right hand on the floor in front of the foot. Take your left hand to the hip. There you go. Now you have room to twist up towards the left. Right leg straight, getting into the hamstring. Let your head dangle towards your right shoulder. Reach the left arm up to the sky. Circle out the wrist. Circle out the wrist in the other direction. And then we're going to switch sides. Bend into the left knee. Left hand in front of the foot. Right hand to your hip. Turn up to the right. Dangle the head. Stretch up to the right fingertips. Get a stretch all the way from the side of your ear up to your hand. Awesome. And come back to center. Really nice. Bend your knees nice and deep like we did at the beginning of the class. Look forward. Take your hands to your hips and then push into your feet. Come up to stand. Beautiful. Okay, we're going to take our block or our pillow. It's going to be fun and maybe possibly confusing. Open to all experiences. Okay, so we're going to start by balancing on our right foot. My block's on the floor right here. So I'm balancing on my right foot and I'm going to use my left foot and I'm going to push the block back. Sometimes the block will roll. Maybe if you're using a pillowcase, it doesn't really matter. The idea is it challenges your balance to try to push the block backwards. We're going to try to push it way far back and then tip forward and towards warrior three. So you're balancing on the foot and then come all the way up to standing, still balancing on the right foot. Hinge forward, warrior three. See if you can tap the block. Tap it, little tap. Lift it back up. Come up to standing. Balance. Really nice. Now we're going to find our block. Stand on the left foot. Lift the right knee. Shift yourself forward, warrior three. Nice and slow. In your warrior three, reach back with your right foot and try to find your block. It'll be at a slight diagonal. And now bring it forward. Just got to keep making things harder. So now you're balancing and the block's forward. Now we're going to push it forward a little bit in front of us and see how high you can lift up your leg. Now bend the left knee and do a little heel tap on the block. Heel tap. Now come up to standing. Shake it out. We're going to do that again, same direction. Love the shakes on the screen. Okay, find it with the same left foot. We're going to bring it back. We're going to do this whole thing 3 times on the same leg. So you're going to have plenty of time to fall in love with this weird sequence. Push the block back towards behind you. Shift forward towards warrior three. This isn't about trying to do it perfectly or not falling. This is about building dynamic balance. Okay, come on up. Balance. Hinge forward. Balance, warrior three. Come on up, balance. Using that the right hip, put the left foot down, right knee lifts. Come forward to warrior three. Nice and slow. Extend the right leg back. Now lower the right toes, try to find your block. Toe touch, lift it up. Toe touch, lift it up. Great, find your block. Bring it forward with your right foot. Yeah. This reminds me of soccer. Okay, now the block's forward. Lift up the right leg. Bend the left knee. And then find your block, heel touch. Lift it up. Bend. Heel touch. Lift up. Stand. Shake it out. I try to imagine, you know, in car dealerships, how they have those blow up things. That's what I tried to emulate. New cars over here. So next time we do it, that's what you guys try to do. Okay, last round on this foot. Find the block with the left foot, move it back. What I've gotten really interested in is in yoga, we come into such precise alignment, but there's only in some ways, you know, like we can balance in tree pose, but then it's like try to move a block. And it's like, well, I can't balance in that way. So trying to widen the road of what we can do. Okay, block is back. Warrior three. Hands could be on the thigh or the hips. You can also just lift the leg up like a little bit. So modify however you need. Touch the block. I'm gonna imagine mine's right there. Lift it up. Come up on up standing. Switch legs. Right knee lift, send it back. Warrior three, make it work for you. Find your block. Bring it forward. Lift the leg up. Heel touch. Leg up. Heel touch. And close your eyes. Car dealership moment. Just let that air blow through you. Okay. Inhale, stretch your arms up to the sky. We'll come back and do the other side in a little bit. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen halfway up. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to plank. In your plank, lower your knees down. Bend your elbows, pause, chaturanga. Push through the hands, straighten the arms. Bend your elbows, chaturanga. Come all the way down to your belly. Squeeze your legs together, push your toenails into the floor. Squeeze your bum muscles and try to stretch your bum towards your heels so your hips are staying anchored. Push into your hands, pull yourself forward as you curl up, cobra. Hips helping to push your pelvis away from you, hands trying to pull your chest forward. Length, length, length. Downward facing dog. In your down dog, push out into your hands, push down into your feet. Begin to get really connected to the ground. And start to push more with your right hand and left foot. See if you can lift up just a little bit. Right foot, left hand. And then we're gonna switch. Hand and foot come down, opposite ones lift up. Think more about what the ones you're pushing down than the ones you're lifting up. Switch back and forth. The leg doesn't need to extend all the way up. It could just lift up a little bit. Yeah. Okay, you guys. Now with these opposite hand and foot movements, we're gonna start walking. So right hand, left foot, lift up and walk forward. Push down, lift up, slow and control, forward. Push down, lift up, slow and controlled, forward. You can walk in a circle. You can walk forward and back on your mat. That's this opposite hand, opposite foot, moving in unison, pushing down the opposite for the core connection. Nice. Start making your way back towards your mat, depending on where you've gotten, and then walk yourself all the way up to forward fold. In your forward fold, bend your knees, let your thighs rest on your belly rest on your thighs a little bit. Fingertips on the floor, do big backward shoulder circles. Big shoulder circles. Right, keep your shoulders connected onto your back as you do the shoulder circle, connect them, scapula tips drawing together and towards the bum. Bend your knees, look forward. Shoulders angled down, anchored down your back, take your hands to your hips. From your hips with a long spine, push down, come on up. Really nice. Push into your right foot. We've had to practice balancing on the right foot. Lift your left knee up. Imagine you were going to move your block around. It's like, ooh, pretty good with no block. Now, not having a block makes this almost easy. Tree pose. Noticing this wonderful breath that continues to move through us even when we forget about it. Really nice. Switch sides. Stand on the left foot. Push down. Imagine you're moving your block around. Tree pose. Look at a spot. See if things get quieter in your head when you balance or if things get louder. And release. Seems like it went pretty well, so we're going to make it harder. Find your block. Stand. Right foot on the block. Push down through the right foot, so just the left toes are on the block. Keep pushing through the right foot until the left toes lift. So you're not trying to lift the left leg, it's lifting because you're pressing. Let's do that again. Whole left foot on the floor, right knee's bent, more weight in the left foot. Start to push down through the right foot, right leg straightens, left toes on the floor. Keep pushing down through the right foot, left toes no longer on the floor. Stand on the left foot, push down through the right. Keep pushing. So this kind of press we can do in all the times when we're on the ground. We have the chance to not press or press. Not press, press. Lift the knee up. Move it around. Tree pose. You can go down. Whew, the fatigue of the ankle. Okay, and switch. You could also do this on a pillow, like I mentioned. If you didn't have a block, like a thin pillow, it would add that same balance challenge. Because the goal isn't balance and tree. The goal is how do you work balancing? Okay. Oh yeah, let's do our steps. Standing more on the right foot, left knee is down. Notice how the energy fills in this leg and this hip. Now push into your left leg, straighten it. Toe still on the floor. Keep pushing. Foot lifts off. Take your left finger, poke your bum. Is it working? Surprisingly, not much of mine is. Where am I pushing from? Okay, bend the knee. Push. Keep pushing. Bend the knee. Push. Keep pushing. Explore. Explore. Tree pose. Notice if your hips feel like they go in the same direction that the block you're standing on. See if you can push down so much that the hip comes into the midline and you get that lifting up feeling. Awesome. Oh, so good. Okay, we're going to use the block again. Now we're going to do the circle on the other, or the square on the other side. So we'll be starting every time balancing on the left foot. Right leg is going to take the block back. It's going to take it back just far enough for you to still be able to pull it forward, hinge forward, warrior three. Push through the left foot. Maybe poke your left bum now. Is it working now? More awareness is always good. Come on up. So that might not be true. Come on up, back, warrior three. Notice the continual push through the left leg, toe touch. Toe touch. Come back up. Whew. Okay. Left knee lifts. Come on forward. Warrior 3. Find the block. Oh, put mine far back. Bring it forward. Bring it extra forward. Lift the leg. Squat into the left knee, right knee. Heel touch. Oh, this is where I notice my broken foot the most. I just can't hinge my ankle. Heel touch. Heel touch. Okay, come on up. Close your eyes. Shake it out. Maybe imagine some internal music to accompany your moves. Okay, we could do that the whole class. We'll come back to moving our block around. Stand on the right foot. Nope, left foot. Move the right foot back, pushing the block back. You could try to roll it back. That's a different experience. Just don't roll it too far. Okay, warrior 3. Come on up, standing balance. Now notice I do whatever I want with my hands, so you have that freedom to just do it. They do their own thing. And come back up. Okay, switch legs. Left foot lifts. Warrior 3. Find your block. Bring it forward. A little bit extra forward. Bring the leg up. Left leg up. Forward. Bend the right knee. Heel touch. Heel touch. Eyes closed. Dance party. Being able to switch flavors, one experience to another. Not getting stuck. Okay, last one. Find the block with your right foot. Slide her back. Warrior 3. And up. Hinge forward, warrior 3. And up. Switch legs. Right foot down, left leg up. Warrior 3. Toe touch. Toe touch. Bring it forward. Leg up. Modification of a pistol squat. Ooh, so strong. Really nice. And shake it up. Inhale, stretch the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Exhale, plant your hands. Step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward to plank. Knees down or up, lower down, chaturanga, pause. Come all the way down to your belly. Set up your cobra so you don't just straighten your arms. You engage your body to protect the spine and then lengthen towards an even back bend from your tailbone to your head. Trying to not make any one single part of that curve the most extreme. Awesome. Downward facing dog. Inhale, stretch your right leg up towards the sky. Exhale, step your right foot forward between your hands. High runner's lunge. Lengthen the spine forward, push through the feet. Take your hands to your hips. Push into your right foot, come on up, lunge. Imagine that the pressing you're doing is on a dial, right? It's dynamic, so it changes. So imagine you're turning down the dial through which you're pushing through your feet. You might feel your body start to slump. Now turn up the dial through which you're pushing into your feet. Notice the difference. Find a a place in this pose that feels good for you. Nice push into the right foot. We're going to straighten the leg and pivot both of the feet to the left. Then we're going to bend into the left knee and take the hands on the left knee. So I'm going to practice sideways so you can see me better. Nice. Send your butt back. So even bring the fingertips towards the floor and create your same long back like you're doing a one-legged squat, spine long, belly in. Okay, walk the hands up back to the knee. Okay, dynamic balance. You might want to start with your feet closer together. I'm going to push off of my left foot and sideways find balance. So maybe you're just doing it a little bit, a little distance of pushing off from the side of the left foot and finding balance on the right foot. I like to bring my knee all the way up like this. This is kind of my standing balance, original position. Press. Okay, really nice. From here, we're going to do eagle. Bend into your right knee. Cross your left leg over your right knee. Bring your left toes to the floor. Wrap your left arm under your right arm, eagle arms. Option to lift left foot up off the floor. Really nice. Take your hands to your hips. Bring your left toes to the floor, and then you're gonna spin towards the front of the room. Yeah. So you were like this, and now you turn forward. How fun is that? Fun. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. See the musings that come at 1 a.m. Inhale, lengthen halfway up. Exhale, plant your hands. Either move through a vinyasa or stay in downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg stretches up towards the sky. Step your left foot forward between your hands. Think about this posture that we did. Try to create that same feeling in your lunge. Lengthening through the spine, integrating the shoulders. Begin to push down more through the feet. Take the feet to the hips. Push down into the hips. Come on up. Stretch your arms up. Lunge. Come back to that idea of having a dial of how much you can push into your feet and find the right amount of push. We wouldn't want to push 100%. That would be fatiguing. Okay, really nice. Push through the left foot, straighten the leg. Pivot both of the feet to the right. Bend into the right knee, hands on the right knee. Keep bending into the right knee, fingertips on the floor. Lengthen through your spine. Feel this is a hamstring stretch. Spine lengthener helps our pelvis kind of get back into position. Walk your hands back up to your knee. Maybe take a shorter stance. And then from your foot, push up, standing balance. So maybe start with a narrow stance. And as you feel comfortable, maybe widening it. Pushing down through the right heel to come up and then pushing down to the left foot to find balance. So you're switching the active leg. Okay, setting up for our eagle pose. Come on up, bend left leg, right leg comes around, toes on the floor. Wrap the arms right under left. Integrate. Maybe footless, it doesn't need to. The pose of life. Being twisted, not being able to see, feeling like you might fall down at any moment. Okay, release the arms, hands on the hips. Here comes our fun spin, right toes to the floor. Shift the weight towards the right foot, spin the heels to the right. Stand at the front of your yoga mat. Nope, you should be facing me now. Awesome. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen, halfway up. Exhale, plant your hands. Step back, downward facing dog or vinyasa. I personally skip most optional vinyasas, if you're wondering. Okay, inhale, right leg up to the sky. Step your right foot forward between your hands, high runner's lunge. Lengthen through the spine, push into the feet, come on up, lunge. Do it this way. Push into your right foot, pivot your feet to the left. We're gonna do the same thing, bend into the left knee, hands to the left thigh. Practice your press ups, lateral press up to balance. Try to find your balance in standing. And then once you find your balance, go into the lunge. Come up, find it. Sometimes it's easy to just come up and then quickly go out. And you don't really ever find it. Okay, the next time we're standing on our right foot with our left knee up, we're gonna stay there. And then we're gonna hinge forward, warrior three. My knee's gonna stay bent. Come on up. Come down, warrior three. Come up. Warrior three. Okay, last one, come up. Now we're gonna take the left toes forward on the ground, and we're gonna draw a big circle. Circle, circle, circle. We're gonna take the left foot all the way over to the right pinky toe side of the foot on the floor, side stretch. Take the right hand to the left wrist, whole length from the left pinky toe up to the left pinky finger. Now from here, we're gonna pivot to lunge. So we're gonna be on a lunge with our right foot and the ball of the left toes tucked. So I'm gonna turn, I'm gonna keep my arms up. I'm gonna turn towards my left. My heels are gonna move and I'm gonna be in a lunge facing towards the back of my yoga mat. Yeah, lunge with the right leg. Exhale, plant your hands towards the back of your yoga mat. Step back, downward facing dog. Option. We're gonna walk around our yoga mat. You can either walk around in downward facing dog, opposite hand, opposite foot, or you can come into hover table. So now mosey on around and stay connected. Strong hands, strong core. You could take this one step up if you were doing a table and put a block on your back. See if you can do it without having the block fall off. And then we'll meet in downward facing dog, facing the front of the room. Yeah, keep walking until you're at downward facing dog towards the front of the room. Fantastic. Inhale, left leg up to the sky. Exhale, step your left foot forward between your hands. High runner's lunge. Create length through the spine. Begin to push through the heel. Then come all the way up. Lunge. Straighten the left leg, pivot the feet to the right, bend into the right knee. Stick your bum out, load the glute. Push off of the heel, shift the weight onto the left foot, balance. My son is into dabbing, which is when you do this move with your arms. I didn't know that for a while. He would do a dab here.
You could work that in nicely. Left elbow bends, right arm out, dab. Here's a new dance part move for you. Dab. Dab. Okay, balancing on the left foot. Knee up. We're going to do our warrior threes. Hinging forward. So again, the goal isn't like do a warrior three. It's keeping connection to a long spine and using the hip joint with our muscles. And laughing at ourselves when we fall. Okay. Next time you come up, stay up. Point right toes forward. Draw your circle. Take that right foot wide towards the front of the mat. Bend into the left knee. Left hand holds right, hand side stretch. Stretching the arms towards the left. Making almost a crescent moon shape with the body, right foot to right hand. And then we're going to pivot to the back of the room, push into the balls of the feet, heels move so that you can pivot to the back of your mat, lunge, left knee forward. How fun. Exhale, plant your hands. Prepare for your animal walks back to the front of the room in downward facing dog. And I'm adding my block to keep it interesting. Much harder. Circling is its own little challenge. And then walk your feet all the way forward. Uttanasana. Hold on to opposite elbows for a moment. Breathe. Okay, walk the hands up to the thighs, stretch the spine forward. Long spine. Take the hands to the knees, bend the knees. Long spine, hip hinge. Hands to the hips, push through the heels. Bam, hips up. Okay, balance on the block with the right foot. Remember, you have to push. This is a very low density block that I'm working with. See if you can go towards warrior three. Come on. Go towards warrior three. Step the left leg back. Lunge. I'm going to turn sideways so you guys can see me. So I'm in a lunge with my right foot forward. And I'm standing on the block. So a little different stretch happening. Stretch the arms up. Push down through the legs. Rise up through the spine. And then bring the fingertips to the floor. I'm going to find my blanket to pad my knee. If you want to pad your knee, you could find your cushion. And then bring your left knee down to the floor. So my right foot's still going to be on my block. And my left knee is going to be down. This is going to give me a much different stretch through the front of my hips. If this hurts the bend in your knee, you could remove the block. Stretch the arms up. Just like cobra, use your hip muscles to push the lower body away from you, so then you can stretch your upper body away from your hips. Really nice. Remove the block. Fingertips to the floor, or hands to the floor. Take your right hand to your hip. You can stay here. You can stretch your top arm up, or you can bend your back knee for a quad stretch. I'm picking one of those. Lots of options. I always go wide. I normally go, I find if I go in, I collapse more in the shoulder but it also changes where you're aiming it for. You know, like if you stay here, you're gonna get a little bit different twist. I kind of like taking mine very wide sometimes. And it's like becomes a back bend the wider you go. Oh, release your foot. High runner's lunge. Step forward. Ooh, Uttanasana. Take your hands to the top of the thighs, on the back of the thighs, and slide your hands down your legs to your heels. So hands at the top of the or the bottom of the glutes, down the hamstrings, back of the knees, calves. This is the way the energy moves down the back body. Okay, take the hands to the knees, bend them. And then from the hips, just such an effective way of getting up, don't you think? That strong squat. Okay, find your block, put it in the front of your room, put it by the bathroom over there in the closet. Okay, stand on it with your left foot. Yep. When you guys make it through the year without spraining your ankles, be like, thank you, Kim, for these weird things. Hinge forward. Oh, puppy yoga, come on up. Go back. This time we're gonna step back to our lunge. Be aware that you have your blanket back there probably. Step back towards your lunge. Stretch the arms up. Turn sideways. Okay, lower knee down. So my left foot is on the block. My right knee is on the floor and I'm in a low lunge. Stretch the arms up. If this doesn't feel good for your body, you can just do away with the block. Okay, kick the block away a little bit, hands to the floor, inside of the left foot. Right fingertips, take them a little bit wide on the flat palm, hand on block or up on your fingertips. Take your left hand to your hip. Rotate your spine towards the sky. Stay here, maybe stretch your arm up or reach back for the quad stretch. The other thing I like doing, Candace, here is I take my elbow down and turn the palm up. That's where I normally hang out. And then turn that right palm, engage up towards the sky. Yeah, it just slightly externally opens the upper arm and release out of that. Really nice. Okay, I had one more hard thing I was gonna have you guys do, and I'm just trying to decide if I want you guys to do it. I'm gonna make it optional. So you can do a brief seated meditation if this next thing looks awful to you. I suggest doing it. You might need to move rooms where you have a hardwood floor or tile. So I'm gonna take my blanket or towel down here and I'm gonna lay on my blanket. So first step is I put my hands like cobra and I'm gonna push into my hands and I'm just gonna pull myself forward a little bit. Hands come forward like cobra, little pull. Elise, I think this will be great for your shoulders. Little pull, try to pull the shoulders down the back. These are like pull-up muscles. Belly towards the spine. I'm supposed to sweep this floor. Actually, I already did. Like, we could just make everyone do this. I wouldn't need to do my job. Okay, so that's stage one. Stage one is awesome. It can be very hard. Okay. Stage 2, you reach your arms forward so the arms are straight and the hands are on the floor. Then you pull yourself to cobra. So finding somewhere on that line, you might not be all the way straight arm, but that, and trying not to do one that's so hard that your shoulders like twist. Just a nice, ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay, and then make your way back to your mat. Ooh, feeling it. Ooh. And then on your mat, do a cobra. On the sticky mat, push through your hands, cobra, and you'll really have that drag action down. Child's pose. Palms up. Come forward, table. We're going to transition to being on our back. I'm going to grab a strap. You could use your blanket as a strap if you wanted. Or if you have a strap, you could grab one. A shawl or a belt. We'll start laying on our back. Strap nearby. Let's take our straps. And we're gonna hook our straps over the front of our ankle. So here's my strap. And I'm gonna hook it over the front of my ankles. And then I'm gonna hold either side of the strap and put my feet down on the floor for a bridge. You might need to scoot your hands closer to your ankles holding the strap or maybe farther away. Pull at the strap so there's tension on the strap. You could roll your shoulders under your back a little bit, then engage your core and lift your hips up. Actually, for me, I'm noticing my heels are a little too close to my butt. So I'm gonna walk my feet a little bit more forward for my normal bridge. And then I still have tension with my strap. Okay, now I'm gonna push into my heels and lift up. Walk my shoulders under, and you have something to hold on to help open your heart. Push into your heels, pull your belly to your spine, open up through the front of the legs, open up through the chest, open up through the shoulders, and lower down. Take your strap up in your hands. Place your right foot in your strap, left foot on the floor. And take your right foot forward a little bit. So your right foot's in front of your hip. It can be so fast to get into this hip stretch that sometimes we can miss the actual stretch. So at the foot forward, pulling on the strap, ground the head of the femur bone into the hip socket. And then begin to shift the foot more towards the sky. How close the leg comes to you really doesn't matter. It's feeling the hamstring stretch. Adjust your hands if you need to. Don't go to your most extreme stretch. Go to like right a little bit before extreme. Soften the shoulders, soften the face. You can stay here. If you'd like, you could extend the left leg out, left leg flat on the floor. Imagine turning your dial up of pressing. Push out through both feet. Notice the subtle differences. Take both straps in the left hand. Take your right hand on the floor by the side of your hip. We're not going to roll onto the left hip. We're going to stay laying on our back, but we're going to pull the right leg over to the left until we get an IT band stretch. Pull, pull, pull. Try to keep the right hip anchored down. When your foot can't go any more over without lifting up your hip, then you could bend your left elbow and pull your foot closer to your head or further away and find a stretch and a place to hold. If you'd like a little bit more, you could take your right thumb to your right hip crease and push the hip away from you, create a little bit more length. Open the foot back up, take the straps in the right hand, left hand comes to the top of the left hip, open the right leg out to the side, bend your right elbow comes to the floor, right foot stays hovering off the floor. Imagine you had plates that are on your feet that you could push out into. Get a little bit intuitive here as you stretch out through your right foot. Maybe stretch out through the inner edge or the outer edge of the foot and see if you can get a different place stretched in your inner thigh. Maybe rock your right hip under or back, subtle movements to change the sensations. Use your right arm to pull your right leg back up through center. Switch hands, left hand holds the strap. Use your left hand to bring your right leg all the way across your body. This time you will roll onto the outside edge of the left hip, left side edge of the left pinky toe, supine twist. If you have a hard time getting your shoulders down, you could push into your elbows till your chest lifts off the floor. And then with your chest off the floor, twist your chest to the right and then lower your shoulders again. This is going to be our last twist on this side. If there's a twist that you prefer, you could move into that. Unwind. As you unwind, cross your right leg over your left leg, left foot on the floor. So my right leg is crossed all the way over my left leg, like I'm sitting on a bench waiting for someone. And now I'm going to lift both of my feet up off the floor. And I'm going to reach my hands for my knees. So my right hand's on my left knee, my left hand's on my right knee. And then I'm going to slide my hands down towards my feet and I'm going to hold somewhere on the front of my shins or ankles. I'm not going to hold on my feet. Spread your toes. Try to get your pinky toes to spread to protect your knees and then push your butt into the floor. So this movement we're about to do is supposed to stretch your hips. So if you feel this in your knees, back off and try to get it so you feel it in your hips. We're going to start to pull the feet out wide and a little bit down. Feet are spread, legs are active. So this rotation comes up and it rotates the head of the femur bones and the hip sockets. It does not rotate the tibia and the fibula at the femur, the knee joint. Maybe rock side to side if that feels good. Very slow rocks. I find if I rock over to the left, it feels especially good. Really nice. And then unwind, feet on the floor. Take your feet a little bit wide, slow windshield wiper. Knees to the right and the left. Slow enough that you can feel the chain of contact as the weight shifts across the pelvis. And then we're going to hold the strap again. We'll take the left foot to the strap. We'll start by taking the strap forward, the foot forward, to get sure that the hip is going into the sitting bone, or the femur is going into the hip socket, and the butt isn't wrapped under. push out into the strap as you pull the strap on your foot, and then start to send the foot more towards the ceiling. And find your hamstring stretch. Probably doesn't have to come very far forward to find it. Keep pushing the left hip into the floor, belly in. Maybe extend the right leg forward. Try to set yourself up in a position that you can hang out here with some ease. Noticing how the dynamic balance of effort and ease is different in this pose than when we're balancing on one foot. You might find your left leg twitching as stuff is getting worked out. We'll take both of the straps in the right hand, keeping the left hip anchored to the floor. Pull the left leg across the body as far as it will go. Maybe move the foot up or down with the help of the right elbow. Find your stretch in this variation of the pose. Come back to center. Switch your hands, right hand on the hip, open your left arm out to the left, elbow to the floor. Instead of coming into the pose and drifting off, staying engaged and interested as experience shifts. Coming back through center. Right hand holds both straps. Maybe push down and move your butt a little bit to the left. Moving my butt over to the left. And then left leg pulls to the right. We'll find a variation of this pose, or maybe move into your variation of your final twist in a position that you can hold with some ease, but without losing mindfulness. Nice, and then come on out of that. Right foot comes to the floor, knee up, left leg crosses over right leg. Setting up for cow face on our back. We do this sitting up sometimes. This time we're doing it on our back. Opposite hand to opposite knee. Slide your hands down your shins. Help pull your shins a little bit wide. Up towards your face and down towards the floor. Finding a position for you that gets your hips and not your knees. Maybe moving the pelvis to help find the stretch. Getting into the outer edge of the left leg at left hip. And unwind your legs. Pull your knees into your chest. Happy baby. Give yourself a hug. And stretch out through your arms and your feet. Full body stretch. Reach, 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 reach. Stretch out through the front of your hips. And then roll over to your side. Press yourself up to seated meditation.
We're going to end with a few minutes of meditation with that mantra. Internal mantra. Inhaling, I calm my body and mind. Exhaling, I smile. Inhale, I calm my body and mind. Exhale, I smile. Bring your hands in front of your heart. And practices like this are pretty different. They're not very like yoga-y, but I think they're really sweet because we get to build a different kind of relationship with ourselves when we're not like meeting our expectations or learning something new and challenging, something we maybe don't like. So thanks for being open to it. Namaste. Awesome.
Thanks, Kim.
Guys, what did you think?
It was fun.
It was hard. I'm gonna have to wash my blanket now after swabbing the floor.
Thanks for being here, guys.
Helping me
Thank
pay
you.
this rent.
Bye.